Hey, how you doing? My name is Ryan, and today I'm doing something a little bittersweet, selling some of my LEGO collection. 2025 has been the year of prioritizing and perfecting my LEGO room, and while it's always fun to add a new set or figure, the other side of the coin is having to sell the old to make room for that new. But there's also a bigger reason as to why I'm selling now. A new Bricks and Minifigs store is opening nearby, and they have a pop-up event today to buy from local hobbyists and collectors. It feels like the right place to find these bricks a new home with fellow enthusiasts who truly get their value. And plus, I don't think Bricks and Minifigs will be like the GameStop meme where you bring in a PS5 and they only give you $5 for it. I think these guys will truly understand how much these sets are worth and balance between trying to make a profit as a business, but also valuing your offers as a seller. So, what's on the chopping block? Well, I have a few different categories of LEGO sets, as well as a few sets I can almost guarantee no other Bricks and Minifigs store will have in their inventory. Let's start off with the easiest category to sell, new retail sets. These are a couple sets I either have duplicates of or just never got around to building and I have no room for them. New in box retail sets are the easiest to sell because there is a fixed value. On the flip side, these will be the sets I get the lowest rate of return on. In fact, I might actually lose money on them. A store like Bricks and Minifigs can only sell these sets at or below the retail price. Otherwise, someone could just go to Target down the street or Lego.com and buy the exact same set new for exactly what I paid for it. So in order for Bricks and Minifigs to make a profit on these sets, they'll have to offer me below the retail value, usually about 20% or so. That way, when they sell it at retail value, they make some money off of it. Now, obviously you can avoid losing money on these sets by simply waiting until they retire, removing the guaranteed price point offered by retailers. However, I do want to support Bricks and Minifigs here because having a specialty LEGO store just right around the corner of my house is a really unique opportunity and could be a game changer for this channel and my room in general. And the potential losses are more than okay because I have some sets in my inventory I'm looking to sell that I believe I can get over 100% returns on, and those are gift with purchases. These are the small builds that often come bundled with large purchases like modulars or the UCS sets. LEGO often lists these smaller sets at having a value between $15 and $25, and sellers have listings for a $30 floor value, usually way more than that. Heck, this grand staircase can go for $70, if not $80 on eBay, so that's great profit. If there are ever sets I would invest in, it's these gift with purchases because they already come bundled with sets you intend to buy, like a modular building or a giant marble set, and if you hold on to them for long enough, you can see massive returns. Sometimes I try to plan my big sets around when a popular gift with purchase comes out. That way, I end up with the set I already wanted in the first place, as well as a potential investment. On the chopping block, we have Castaway Ray, which goes for around $22, the Corner Kiosk, which goes for about $50 minimum, the Chinese Lucky Knots, which goes for around $23, and the Hogwarts Staircase, which as mentioned goes for about $70. That's a potential profit of $165, and I think I can get pretty close to that number by selling these sets to Bricks and Minifigs. Now, there are a few more sets I'm looking to sell that I can almost guarantee no other Bricks and Minifigs would have in their shop, but before I reveal those, let's talk minifigures. I have a good amount of Star Wars figures that ended up in my backstock after scaling back my minifigure display. I went from around 400 slots to 250 slots for Star Wars figures, and about 50 of those figures I think are worth selling. And there's some great value in that bag. There's figures like QDKT, Evil C-3PO, the original Jabba the Hutt, and even SpongeBob's in here too. I do think a smart store will offer me about 20% less than the value of these figures on Bricklink in cash, but maybe I can get more in store credit. After all, if I intend to make purchases at Bricks and Minifigs, store credit at a higher value might be worth more to me than cash in hand. But that's a decision I'll make once I hear the number. For now, I have a much larger choice to make, and that's with my LEGO Harry Potter figures. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be collecting LEGO Harry Potter in the future, but I do still quite love these figures. In fact, Harry Potter was the first LEGO brand that I ever bought, built, and even collected. That being said, I think it is time to replace this last DIY picture frame display with a more professional acrylic case. So what do? Sell all of them? None of them? Some of them? Here's my plan. I'm picking 40 figures to keep in a brand new acrylic case. I think I can curate a good selection of Hogwarts characters without too many repeats. The rest, I'm selling. Considering the fact I'm not as invested, both figuratively and literally, in the Harry Potter theme, I don't mind parting ways with more expensive figures. For example, a massive Harry Potter fan would prioritize keeping these expensive Hogwarts founder figures, but I don't mind selling them. I care more about having Harry, Ron, and Hermione. I'm almost thinking about this process like my perfect minifigure collection videos, where I'm trying to balance the best characters, best iteration of each character, and best price. So after a few minutes of sorting, here is my new Harry Potter collection, and here's the figures I intend to sell. Now, before I pack up my trunk and head over to Bricks and Minifigs, I do have a couple more used sets that I'm willing to part ways with, and these are really special. Let me show you just one. This is the Spielberg Movie Maker set. It's a complete in-box set with all the pieces, all the figures, the camera, and even the cardboard backdrops are in great condition. I had always wanted this set as a kid, and I won it on an eBay auction for around 30 bucks. I had a great time playing with it. My wife and I made a stop-motion movie with it. It's a really fun set to play with, and I think it's a great piece to have at a Bricks and Minifigs shop. It's not the one that I think they'll be most surprised by, but it's one that I think will be a hot ticket item when the store finally opens up. With that, let's head over to Bricks and Minifigs and see what they think of my collection I'm selling. So this is Nick from Bricks and Minifigs Cockyville. I'm going to sell you a good chunk of my back stock. I have some really cool stuff for you. You ready to see?
Definitely.
All right, so this is the Master Mechanic set number 003.
Doesn't get much older than that.
And these are some of the older bricks. As you can see, if you look carefully, a lot of them say patent pending on them, which means the brick patent hadn't actually gone through yet, which puts it right around the late 60s, early 70s for these sets. Some of the older instruction manuals where they didn't actually have instructions. They just kind of said, all right,
yeah,
here's what you could make. There's also, of this series, set number 001. Not the first set per se, but the first in this line of toys. Actually, this is back when they were a Samsonite company, when they first moved their factories, or first opened factories in the US. They paired with a company called Samsonite to actually make the bricks that were consistent with the factory in Denmark. So here are all of the gears still intact. Here's a really unique one. Number 2, the motor pack. This is just a motor. It's a motor and battery pack, so it would take, I think, 2 C batteries, and then you wire it, literally plug in the wires to these terminals, and you'd have a motor right here.
That's pretty crazy.
So this goes with some of the older sets as well, and kind of like the earlier power functions that yeah. These are the sets that I guess round 1 in my back stock. There's probably more. If anybody's gonna have these sets, it's gonna be Bricks and Minifigs.
Can't wait. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
It's a really strange feeling coming down to my Lego room with less Lego than when I left, but I think it was a success today selling some of my collection. I think the gift with purchases, I got the exact amount I wanted for, that 160 mark. The minifigures, I may have overvalued a little bit considering I was basing their value off of when they first came out, the Star Wars figures that is, and with whatnot pricing being kind of inflated to begin with, and time, I think figures like QT, KT, and Red-Eyed C-3PO gone down in price just a little bit since then. But the funniest thing was the very exclusive older sets I gave to Bricks and Minifigs. They were trying to price them out, and Nicholas was only able to find 1 copy of the set on eBay to kind of gauge what he should give me for them, but we negotiated a really good deal. After selling my sets to Bricks and Minifigs Cockeysville, I walked out with not only enough cash in hand for opening day of Bricks and Minifigs Cockeysville, not only enough cash for the summer wave of 2025 Marvel sets, there are some real bangers in that wave, I also walked away with enough cash for a lovely gift for my wife because, well, I love her. While it is kind of sad to see the wall to my right be a little bit empty without my Harry Potter figs, it kind of feels almost blank, I now have enough room for some of my newer projects I'm working on, some of my newer collections of figures and sets. And more importantly, I know the people I sold my sets to will value the collection almost as much, if not more, than I did. In fact, I was talking to Nicholas and some of his co-workers. They were joking about potentially keeping the older sets in their own personal collection rather than selling them at Bricks and Minifigs, and that's when you know the people behind these businesses have to be both fans of business, but also fans of Lego to begin with, and Nicholas and his team are certainly fans of Lego. I am very excited for Bricks and Minifigs Cockeysville. I think it's a very kind staff, a very knowledgeable staff, and also it'll be really nice to have a Lego specialty store just around the corner. I think it'll be very helpful for this collection and this channel. In fact, Nicholas and I are collaborating on a couple projects, a couple irons are in the fire right now, including him helping me out with some of my minifigure collecting. And also, Bricks and Minifigs Cockeysville might end up being the new home of my custom Dunder Mifflin model. But I'll be sure to give you an update when the timing is right. For now, I can kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy a bit more room in my Lego room thanks to the pop-up shop at Bricks and Minifigs Cockeysville. And big thanks to our first ever channel members, Mall Movies and Dalton Junk Mail. You guys are incredible. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.